It was nearly midnight when Daniel Reed first heard the haunting cry slicing through the stillness of the night, drifting in from the riverbank. He was driving home from an exhausting night shift, his age-old pickup rattling along the desolate road that wove through the dark woods surrounding his small town. In the back seat, his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, lay fast asleep, her tiny head resting gently against the beloved teddy bear she always clutched. Initially, he dismissed the sound as an animal. But then he heard it again, an echo of a weak, desperate voice calling out for help. Instinct took over. He slammed the brakes, grabbed his flashlight, and charged toward the sound, urgency fueling his every step. The beam of his flashlight pierced the darkness, illuminating a figure thrashing in the icy water. A woman. She was half-conscious, her uniform shredded and drenched, blood mingling with the murky current. Without a moment's hesitation, Daniel plunged in. The water stung like ice, but he wrapped his arms around her, pulling her closer as he fought against the current, gasping for breath until he finally dragged her onto the bank. Hey, just hold on, he urged, pressing his ear to her chest. A pulse responded, faint yet steady. As he turned her slightly, he caught sight of a badge pinned to her vest. Officer Elena Brooks. A wave of recognition hit him. He was all too familiar with that name. The entire town was. She had been tirelessly investigating a series of disappearances that had cast a shadow over their community for months. And now, she lay there, clinging to life in his arms. Quickly, he shed his jacket and wrapped it around her, then lifted her into his truck. Lily stirred in her sleep as he laid the woman down in the back seat. "Daddy, who's that?" she murmured, still caught in the haze of slumber. "Someone who needs our help, sweetheart," he replied, striving to inject calm into his voice. With his heart racing, he sped toward the nearest hospital. The tension felt palpable with each passing mile. Once at the hospital, as the doctors rushed Elena inside, Daniel stood by, helpless, water dripping from him onto the sterile tiled floor. Hours dragged on before a nurse finally emerged with news. She would survive, but just barely. She had been shot and left for dead. That night, sleep eluded Daniel. The haunting image of her face replayed incessantly in his mind, fear radiating from her eyes, the effort she made to speak before fading away. He sensed there was a deeper story waiting to unfold. The next morning, the news hit like a bolt of lightning. The police reported that Detective Brooks had been discovered near death, entangled in a complex internal investigation. But details remained frustratingly scarce, leaving the community buzzing with questions and the heavy silence of uncertainty. 2 days later, Daniel's phone rang, shattering the quiet. "This is Officer Hart from the police department," the voice stated. "Detective Brooks needs to speak with you urgently." When Daniel arrived at the hospital, he found Elena looking delicate yet alert. Her arm was cradled in a sling, and her eyes, though tired, glimmered with intensity. "You saved my life," she whispered, her voice barely above a murmur. "I can't express how much I owe you." "You don't owe me anything," Daniel responded firmly. "Anyone would have done the same." She managed a faint smile. "Not everyone would have jumped into that river." After a moment of silence, her voice dropped to a near whisper. "I can't tell you everything, but someone in my department tried to kill me. I was about to expose something huge. Now they think I'm dead." A chill gripped Daniel. "You're saying police officers did this?" She nodded, the weight of her words heavy in the air. "A few of them. I need somewhere safe to hide, a place they wouldn't think to look." Without a moment's hesitation, he replied, "You can stay at my place." That one decision transformed everything. For the next week, Daniel concealed Elena in his modest farmhouse on the town's outskirts. Lily believed she was simply a work friend, and Elena played the part beautifully, reading bedtime stories and helping out around the house, all while nursing her injuries. Yet Daniel couldn't shake the feeling of unease. He noticed how she flinched at the sound of cars slowing down nearby and how she spent hours scribbling notes on scraps of paper, deep in thought about something she wasn't ready to share. One stormy evening, with rain tapping rhythmically on the windows, Elena finally opened up. "There's a secret network within the department," she confided softly. They've been covering up crimes for years, drug money, illegal deals, even murder. I uncovered proof, and now they want to silence me." Daniel stood in stunned silence, processing her words. "What will you do?" he asked, concern etching his features. She met his gaze with weary yet unyielding determination. "I'm going to finish what I started." 2 nights later, their hidden sanctuary was discovered. Daniel jolted awake to the sound of tires crunching on gravel. Flashlights pierced the darkness. Elena quickly grabbed the small flash drive she had kept hidden and thrust it into Daniel's hands. "If they catch me, this can't fall into their hands. Take Lily and run." Before he could respond, the front door swung wide open. 3 armed figures in plain clothes rushed in like a storm. Gunfire erupted. Daniel instinctively shielded Lily behind the couch, his heart racing wildly. Despite her injuries, Elena fought back, her shot hitting one of the intruders. By the time the real officers arrived as backup, the house was a chaotic scene of scattered bullets, and the attackers lay either lifeless or in handcuffs. They took Elena away again, bleeding but determined to survive. Days passed, and the news broke like a thunderclap. The flash drive held explosive files that implicated numerous corrupt officers, including a deputy chief. This revelation ignited one of the most significant internal investigations in the state's history. Weeks later, when Daniel saw Elena again, she was using a cane, her spirit shining a little brighter. She handed Lily a small silver badge. "Hold on to this," she said with a warm smile. "It's for brave souls who stand up for others." Lily beamed, glancing up at her dad. "Just like my daddy." Elena locked eyes with Daniel. "Exactly like your daddy." As the sun dipped below the serene fields, Daniel understood that what had started as a simple act of kindness had transformed into something monumental, a quest for truth, a flicker of courage that had forever altered the course of their lives.